Hi, welcome to Tulane. To help you get better oriented, we've interviewed 3 key administrators here on campus. Take a look. Hi, I'm Chelsea Cipriano, one of the orientation interns from Cheshire, Connecticut. I'm here today with Anna López, the Associate Provost in the Division of Academic Affairs. Anna is also a professor in the Communication and Latin American Studies departments, as well as a mother of a current Tulane student, among the many other things that she does. Why don't we begin by having you describe how your role as the Associate Provost affects first-year students?
Well, in the Provost's office, we deal with all issues at the university that have to do with things academic. As a result, pretty much everything I do in some way or another impacts students, and particularly first-year students insofar as part of my direct portfolio is working with the Center for Public Service that oversees the public service graduation requirement. And I know that a lot of first-year students come to Tulane precisely because they're interested in giving back to the community, and that plays a big role in what I do.
Now, I met you while I was studying abroad in Brazil on the summer trip that you lead there. And then I was fortunate enough to serve as your teaching assistant for your TIDES class, No Child Left Behind, Public Education in New Orleans. Can you tell us a little bit about why you like to teach TIDES classes?
I love TIDES. In many ways, the experience of TIDES is very similar to the experience of taking students abroad. You create a community. It's a small, intense community of learners. As you know, public education or education in no way, shape, or form is my specialty. It's just something that I'm very passionate about. Therefore, the students take the class because they care about public education, they want to learn about it. I want to explore something that I care about, and we create this wonderful unit that is fueled by genuine intellectual interest and intellectual inquiry. And as you know, with the public service graduation requirement added to the TIDES experience, that becomes even a more intense experience both for the faculty and for the students. And you probably remember that we planted 10 very large trees in a public school that were very heavy. And that was really a bonding experience and something that when the students graduated, I hope they drove by that school to look at the trees now.
What one piece of advice would you give to incoming freshmen to make their first year at Tulane successful?
What would that be? I think that what students need to come to the university with is the realization that learning in high school was what they had to do, but learning at the university is something they must want to do, and that they need to become engaged in their own learning experience. They need to seek out things that they're passionate about. They need to seek out faculty members that they feel a chemistry with and align themselves with them and try to learn from them inside and outside the classroom. I think first-year students very quickly discover that they do a lot of learning in the classroom, but they do an awful lot more outside.
One last fun question. What's your favorite Mardi Gras parade?
Well, I'm biased. I ride in Muses, which is an all-women's crew, relatively new by Mardi Gras standards. And that is, for me, always the best parade. Even when I didn't ride in Muses, it was always my favorite parade. It's the most beautifully put together, it's modern, it's luxurious, and actually riding on a Mardi Gras float is a lot of fun.
Hello, I'm Sam Furman, an orientation intern from Ormond Beach, Florida. I'm a junior in the School of Liberal Arts, majoring in International Relations. We're here in Cudd Hall, the home of Newcomb Tulane College, with the Dean of Newcomb Tulane College, James MacLaren. So let's get started. How does your role as Dean affect freshmen?
My role of Dean is to ensure that all of our students get an outstanding experience educationally at the university, particularly for first-year students when you're just starting off on your academic career. The primary probably point of contact and where the college and my staff and myself interact with you is through your academic advisor. That's the person that you're going to see regularly to help you think about courses, plan your major, think about internships and careers, because that's sort of what they bring to the university.
What's the piece of advice you would give incoming freshmen to make their year successful?
Other than wash my car weekly, I would recommend attending all your classes and keeping up to date with your coursework.
Okay. One of the great programs you do is Coffee with the Dean. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. We guarantee that on a Friday morning you're going to be awake because you'll have a nice strong cup of coffee and a Krispy Kreme donut. More than that, we believe that success in college is built around finding communities, finding your friends, finding things that you're interested in doing both inside and outside of the classroom. And this is a great way to mix with other students, to mix with faculty, and to mix with staff from the college in an informal basis and grab a cup of coffee and a donut.
What is your favorite festival or event in New Orleans?
I think it has to be French Quarter Festival. Jazz Fest has got so big over its recent history, but if you want to catch local musicians in perhaps a slightly less frenetic environment, and it's earlier in the semester so it's not conflicting with your final exams at the end of your freshman year, go to French Quarter Festival.
Hi, I'm Reed Wendorf, and I'm one of the orientation interns in charge of the NOLA experience. I'm from Cohasset, Massachusetts, and I'm majoring in international relations and minoring in business. I'm here today with Dean Hogg, who's the Vice President for Student Life. What does the Division of Student Affairs do at Tulane?
The Division of Student Affairs actually is responsible for helping students experience learning activities outside of the classroom. So there are about 300 student organizations on campus that Student Affairs is responsible for administering. In addition to that, almost any recreation activity from ice hockey to the Meat Eaters Club are activities that Student Affairs runs. In addition to that, Student Affairs manages the residential experience at Tulane and all of the programming through our residence halls, all of the student government functions. The Office of Student Affairs is really there to enhance the students' experience in Tulane outside of the classroom experience.
I understand that you've earned 4 degrees here at Tulane. Tell me about that, and how has Tulane changed over the years?
I did earn 4 degrees at Tulane. I earned undergraduate degrees in economic and history here, and I earned 2 graduate degrees, a master's in business administration and a doctorate of jurisprudence. And the university has changed substantially. It doesn't look at all the same. It looks much better. I was counting the other day, there are 15 new buildings here on the campus since I was a student here a very long time ago. In addition to that, I think the quality of students here and the educational experience is vastly improved. In addition to that, I think the opportunities that we can provide students through research, through extracurricular activities, through public service, through a completely revamped curriculum, makes the Tulane experience even better than it was when I was a student here.
What one piece of advice would you give incoming freshmen?
The one piece of advice that I could give any incoming freshman is to get out and experience the Tulane community through the activities that we have outside of the classroom. Whether that is joining a club, playing intramural sports, going to a lecture on campus, I would encourage them to take advantage of all of the resources and activities the university has to enhance the collegiate experience here.
So there are a lot of great restaurants in New Orleans. My personal favorite is Giacomo's. What about yours?
My favorite restaurant is probably Café de Gars. It's like eating in a treehouse on Esplanade Avenue, and it is one of the few restaurants in New Orleans that's, for the most part, all open air. So you get to look at the oak trees on Esplanade Avenue and experience some French food, and occasionally a few cats that might walk through that belong to the owners.
We hope you enjoyed those videos. You'll be able to meet all 3 of those administrators when you arrive here in August on move-in day. They'll all be at the President's Convocation and at various events and receptions throughout Welcome Week. See you then!